The exploded picture mind processes information through simultaneous, nonlinear insights rather than a sequential chain. This cognitive style requires a mechanism to dump high-velocity data immediately, as these rapid-fire connections often decay if not captured within seconds. Standard web forms act as physical bottlenecks. Traditional inputs force linear entry, requiring the user to wait for validation. These friction points and minor input lags break flow, causing the secondary nodes of an insight to drop from working memory. UI limitations cause the total loss of high-value insights. The system prioritizes input compliance over capture speed, effectively filtering out the most complex ideas. To solve this, a system must adapt its ingestion speed to the user's cognitive limit. This requires moving past the concept of a reactive form and into an environment that accepts raw, unstructured dumps. Improving the visual layout of a form cannot address the core issue if the underlying state management remains synchronous. Capturing nonlinear thought requires a decoupled architecture that prioritizes high-frequency ingestion over immediate UI rendering. The Rapid Prototype Engine, or RPE, is an ingestion layer built specifically to handle this high-velocity cognitive state. The RPE is architectured to maintain a 99.7% data capture rate. It is designed to keep pace with the fastest possible human input. It achieves this by decoupling text ingestion from downstream processing. When a user types, the system records the raw string in a memory-resonant buffer before initiating any heavy computational tasks. We will trace this data journey from raw ingestion through the scoring pipeline to specialized AI agent embodiment. High-velocity thought becomes a structured engineering asset when the ingestion layer is built for concurrency. The RPE transforms chaotic input into a disciplined technical roadmap. The lightning bolt interface is the atomic data unit of the system. This schema provides a rigid structure for every captured insight. When a user submits an unstructured string, the system populates this envelope with metadata, turning a raw thought into a trackable data point. The intensity uses a 1 to 10 scale to quantify the explosive nature of the insight. This allows the system to prioritize breakthroughs over minor observations during later analysis. The system also tracks cognitive load. Recording the user's mental state provides context to the string, mapping the energy levels present at the moment of capture. Enforcing this multi-dimensional structure at the moment of capture provides the vectors for downstream AI routing. Without these specific metadata slots, the system cannot categorize the intent of the raw text. This data enrichment happens within the capture lightning bolt function. To protect the 99.7% capture rate, the RPE ensures that processing never blocks the main React rendering thread. The UI must remain responsive, even as the system analyzes the data. This diagram shows the 3 parallel processes. First, velocity tracking calculates the millisecond delta between inputs to measure the speed of the user's ideation. The second track performs relevance scoring. The system scans the string against predefined creative domains and innovation keywords to assign the bolt a percentile relevant score. On the third track, the engine generates an auth string. This cryptographic hash provides a simulated blockchain timestamp, securing the intellectual property of the insight immediately. Concurrency is the engine's core strength. While the user types, complex contextualization and IP protection happen invisibly in the background. For high-intensity sessions, the RPE utilizes a state called Creator God Mode. This is a software decorator pattern. It wraps the standard ingestion logic to amplify the system's sensitivity during deep work cycles. When active, the mode applies a mathematical amplification factor to the intensity and relevance score of every incoming bolt. This state also triggers the personal life knowledge system to calculate voice resonance. It cross-references the insight with the user's existing work to ensure alignment. Depending on the active domain, like system architecture or empathy, the engine appends highly specific tags that determine how the data will be used downstream. Creator God Mode shifts the RPE from a storage tool into an active participant in synthesis. The final stage is routing, governed by the specialized app mappings dictionary. The system identifies keywords to map the bolt to a specific domain, such as memory preservation or executive function. In the Alzheimer's Legacy app, keywords like legacy or memory route the data to a specific endpoint designed for cognitive preservation. This endpoint uses the Billy agent context. Billy is a specialized persona that preserves the exact language of the user, operating with a tone that is unhurried and deeply respectful. If the bolt routes instead to the tailor, the behavioral boundaries, ensuring the agent provides precise, constructive feedback on product design. Semantic routing forces raw data into highly specialized, predictably secure endpoints, locking chaotic insights into strict functional boundaries. This modular approach prevents the hallucinations of a generic LLM by confining the AI to a specific, well-defined operational context. A high volume of data processing can lead to rendering layer crashes. If the UI cannot keep up with the engine, the entire application risks a total failure. The RPE uses React error boundaries to isolate the visual interface. This ensures that even if the UI crashes, the underlying data layer remains operational. Normally, a UI crash wipes volatile session data. Here, the UI node shatters, while the nested current session node remains intact. The engine utilizes unshift to push data into a memory buffer, preserving captured bolts even when the rendering thread freezes. While the interface is frozen, the engine continues to execute session protocols and calculate breakthrough potentials, finalizing the data in the background. Reliability is achieved by decoupling state ingestion from the fragile rendering cycle. This is the complete sequence: a raw string processed through a concurrent pipeline, amplified by a decorator, and routed into a specialized agent endpoint. The Lightning Bolt interface standardizes high-velocity input, turning rapid-fire thoughts into actionable data without ever losing their original context. Fault tolerance and IP hashing protect the integrity of the user's intellectual property throughout the entire capture lifecycle. Building power user tools requires an alignment with the user's specific cognitive mechanics. Architecture that prioritizes capture speed over input compliance ensures that every lightning bolt is preserved. The RPE builds an ingestion layer fast enough to match the mind.